Hey, everybody, welcome to today's episode of Care Sandwich. I have Priscilla, who is going to join me. She is an immigration attorney and she's just awesome. We met at the Women in Leadership Conference, Will by Betty conference in New Orleans recently, and I was just blown away by just her energy, her personality, and she had her son there. So, of course, mom vibes. But before I have her join us for this awesome interview that you shouldn't miss, I'm going to play a little video for you.
Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care.
Priscilla Castlebary, welcome to Care Sandwich. Let's bring her on to the virtual stage.
Hi,
Priscilla
Margarita.
hi. Priscilla is an amazing attorney. Priscilla, tell my audience about your practice area, and tell them about your social media too, because I've been following you and I love your videos, and I felt very convicted by one that you posted recently, um, about the importance of having your things in order. But tell my audience, what do you do? What area do you practice in, and where are you located?
Okay, awesome. Hi, I'm so grateful to be on this podcast with you today. So, I am an immigration, specifically family-based immigration attorney. And I also do wills, trust, and asset protection for families. So, I help them basically make sure that their families and their assets are protected if the worst were to happen to them.
I love that because I don't know of very many attorneys that do what you do and that speak Spanish. I think that is such a valuable resource, and I get asked all the time because people know I work with attorneys, and sometimes I talk like if I'm an attorney, but I'm really not. Y'all, I did not. Um, and I get asked all the time, do you know somebody that does wills, trust, like that can help with, planning, that also speaks Spanish, que habla español.
Claro, sí.
Well, so how did you niche down to these practice areas? Tell us your story.
Yeah, of course. So I am based out of Chattanooga, Tennessee. I came to the US when I was 12 years old with my family. We came with a tourist visa and then overstayed our visa. So I was undocumented for around 10 years until DACA came out. So I'm a DACA dreamer. I had DACA for 2 years and then I met my husband. So, you know, we went through the whole process of like getting the petition done, becoming a citizen. I then asked for my parents when I was in law school. It was like a whole process. And so I think from the beginning, like I'm the oldest, so being from a Latino family, you know how it is. Like they take you to all the attorney meetings for you to translate. You have to translate all the documents that they get, you know. So I think I was like, oh, I want to do this. I want to help people that are like my parents, and that's how like the immigration part of it, came about. But before going to law school, I worked at a law firm and we had a case of a Mexican immigrant that worked installing mirrors, and one of the mirrors broke and fell on him, killed him instantly, and he had a 4-year-old at home. That Child Protective Services came and took the child. We represented his parents in Mexico that were trying to adopt the child,
Right.
and yeah, it was pretty bad because we would show proof that they had money in Mexico, that they could send him to a school where he would learn English and Spanish. But I think everybody was like concerned of like do we send this kid to another country? Like, what do we do? I think I was very shocked, by that. Being an immigrant, I was like, oh my gosh, we had no family in the US. What would have happened to me and my siblings if something would have happened to my parents? So I completely kind of blocked out that memory until my last year of law school, that I took wills and trusts. And I saw how easy it would have been or it is, I guess, for people to make a plan that protects their family, that protects their minor kids if something were to happen to them. And like you said, I was like, okay, I know a lot of immigration attorneys, but I don't see anybody talking about this to, I mean, anyone, let alone like the Latino community. So that's when I said, I'm going to niche down my immigration practice to just family based, because it's what I aligned with the most, since that was my story. But I want to open this up to everybody and inform, educate. So I do presentations for free every month. I do webinars on all of this information because I want people to be educated about this.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So selfishly, since you have those things in your brain, 3 bullet points of common things that people should do that they don't do when it comes to the will and trust area.
Okay. Gosh. Okay. You put me on the spot. 3 bullet points.
You
Because I
got
could
this.
do this for hours.
I know. Just real quick, real quick. We only have like 10 more minutes. So
Yeah. Okay. So one, I think people think that a will is enough to protect their family. It's not, right. I don't know how many people know about the probate process, but um, everybody has. I guess that's another one. Everybody has a plan. So you all have a plan, even if you think you don't have a plan, and that plan is the plan that the state has for you, and that plan includes probate, which is going through the process of the assets being moved from your name into the name of somebody else. A will still goes through probate. So just creating a will doesn't protect really the things, because probate, you're going to end up in probate for a really long time. It costs a percentage of your assets to go through probate. And also it's completely public. So everybody will know what you have, where you have it. So probate is really no good. So
so
yeah,
wait. So it's not like in the movies where like someone dies and then some like old man like sits at the like end of the chair and reads who gets what and like and that's it. It's not like that.
no, those people probably had a trust, because that's usually what happens with a trust. Yeah.
Okay.
But a big misconception is that a will is enough. And another thing that I see a lot is that people name guardians for their minor kids in the will.
Mhm.
And that only covers if you die. So if you're in the hospital, nobody's looking at your will and who you named as guardians. You need to name guardians outside of that document. And so that's a big one. Protect not only your kids for when you die, but also if you're in the hospital. During COVID, we saw it a lot, right? People couldn't communicate, they were in a coma. You know, child protective services have to come and take these kids and figure out where they're going to put them until the parents get better. So yeah, that would be it. I would say, remember that you have a plan, but it's not a plan that you created yourself, and it's not for your benefit. It's the state's plan. Number two, probate is not good for your family or your assets. And number three, I would say a will is not enough to protect your kids. Remember to name guardians outside of your will.
That is awesome. I heard a story from an attorney here in Georgia that I worked with a while back, and she told me about a woman who owned like businesses and had a bunch of assets who didn't die but was in a coma, and like it was a disaster even with her business. So like that was very eye-opening to me as a business owner to really address not just what happens if something happens to you and you die, but what happens if something happens to you and you can't make decisions like that you normally would make, like who does what. So I love that you touched on some of these things and such valuable information. Priscilla, where do you help people? Are you geographically bound, or can you help people all over the country? Walk us through your area of the law, and then how do people get in touch with you if they're like, you know what, I need help with what she does, or I want to refer a case to her.
Of course. So I am located in Chattanooga, Tennessee, but for immigration purposes, I can help people everywhere. Yeah, everywhere in the US or the world. And then for estate planning, I help people in Tennessee and Georgia.
Got it. So you can help the entire state of Georgia, the entire state of Tennessee when it comes to those areas, and then immigration is national, international, really, because they can call you from
Right.
anywhere and you can begin a
Yeah,
case. That is
correct.
great. So, how do people get a hold of you? What's your process like? Do they
So
find you on social website? Where?
yeah, for sure. So definitely follow me on social media. My tag is at the law Tina mom. So
Okay.
it's not Latina, it's Law Tina LAW mom.
Oh, that's
On
cool.
Yeah.
That's so clever. That's
I know some
awesome.
people are like, did you just misspell Latina or like do you not know how to pronounce it? I'm like, no, that's how it goes. It's the
No
Latina
imagination.
mom. Yeah. Yeah, and so you can also go to my website, the www.rcalawfirm.com, and under schedule an appointment, it's got the link to my calendar that you can just pick a date and time that works for you.
So at Care Sandwich, I like to give tips for attorneys and law firm owners based on real life experiences from attorneys like you. What's the experience like been for you to niche down into these two, I'm going to call them two practice areas? Um, how do people find out about you? Like, how do you get clients? How has that worked for you?
Yeah, so it's been a process for sure because the lawyers are like, okay, you're going on your own. Let's get like all the clients, right? I can't be picky. But when you talk to everybody, you don't talk to anybody, and so it's been really hard trying to find specifically because right when I think that I've found my niche, I have to like tailor it down a little bit more because it's still like too broad, what I mean. And
Mm.
so yeah, it started like from estate planning to like families with minor children, and then um it was families that had kids under like 15, and then it was actually moms that had businesses and had children under 15, so it keeps like niching down. And
Yeah.
so yeah, I feel like I'm not done yet. I think I'm fighting with my mindset of like, no, it's too narrow, I need to broad it, make it broad. But I'm working on that. And so yeah, it keeps, I think I keep finding my people too,
Yeah.
right? Like it's kind of like that. Like I've worked with a broad number of people, but then I'm finding myself working a lot with moms that have businesses and that they want to protect their kids, and that is very important to them. So yeah.
I love that. And what you said resonated with me because I've been on a similar journey where I was trying to help everybody and then I niched down to attorneys. And I didn't necessarily niche down further from there. Like I work with all attorneys in all practice areas, but I've gotten down the personality. So, like, my ideal avatar loves coffee as much as I do, may or may not have a drinking problem, and has a dark sense of humor. Like that's how I know. That's how I know somebody's made for me. Como anillo al dedo. I'm like, those are the
Yeah.
those are the people. Like if you can laugh at some dark jokes, like we're gonna get
Yeah.
along great. So I love
That's
that.
awesome. I mean, the drinking problem, you don't go wrong with lawyers, right? Like that's like you say open bar and we're there. So
Yeah, I know. My cheesy joke is, when I'm like doing cheesy sales pitches, like you're a lawyer. Of course you would want to work with me because what lawyer doesn't love a good margarita?
that's a good one. Yeah.
I
Definitely
play
sticks
too much.
out.
Oh my gosh. No, this has been great. So, Priscilla, do you have any tips that you want to share to somebody that's like, I really want to start my own law firm and I want to niche down, but I don't know how to get over that mindset block? Because it sounds like that's an area that you've really done a lot of work in. So, can you share, like, what helped you overcome that hump?
Think definitely realizing that I had like a money mindset problem.
Mm,
Um, that I was like kind of on that scarcity mindset. Like if I don't like talk to everybody, my person's gonna miss me. I have to kind of talk to everybody, and that's not true. So once you get past like that mindset block, and you know that the people that are for you will find you, you can niche down. And that doesn't mean that I have clients that don't have minor kids, that have kids that are grown and married, so they still find you. Like your people will find you, but you have to make sure that you talk to your specific avatar, like you said. Even though you work with all the attorneys, you have exactly in mind like who you work for. So I think that's been the big thing, is like knowing that my people will find me and not having to worry about like the scarcity part of it all. Like talk to your people and they will find you.
Yeah, and I thank you for touching on that topic of mindset. It's something I'm very passionate about, and I see it as a pattern with, like really minority business owners for the most part. I can relate. When you grow up a certain way, it just does things to your mind, to your body, to your subconscious, and it's like in your DNA. And if you don't address it and become aware of it, like it could be the silent killer, right?
Yeah.
Um, I even believe that your mindset is going to determine what type of people you even attract. Like I remember when I first started, my business like over a decade ago, like, I had an agency and was doing that business. I would attract people that were always asking for a discount and like, y cuánto cuesta and why so much? And it was like, and I'm embarrassed to even say that like the first clients that I ever had, I love them to death still till this day because I'm so grateful that they gave me a shot. But when I asked them for like my like fee or whatever, they laughed. They were like, "Oh, we're not going to pay that. We'll pay this." And I took it in the best possible way, right? Because at the time, like it was my first client with my first business, doing this, and I just accepted it. And again, like I'm grateful, and I feel like they were going through some mindset things too, so it's kind of, we grew together, right? Eventually they increased and honored my my work for what it was worth, but that's how it started. And I think as we grow as business owners and our mindset shifts, then we like start to attract those types of clients. Right now I feel like I'm in a really blessed place where like I have really wonderful clients that like invest in the value of what we bring, to their business. And and they leverage it, and they follow our advice and they apply the things that, we recommend. So all those things are indicators of, yes, the marketing, but also I think it has a lot to do with mindset. And I recently was talking to a friend, and I'll shout this out, but there's a book called The Illusion of Money that I started rereading because I recommended it to a friend, and now I'm like, you know what? I need a refresher. But it's got a lot of really good things on there, and I try to share that type of knowledge as well with as many business owners, because it is seriously like a game changer when you get to the point where you're like, I'm going to have the courage to ask for what I'm worth. I'm going to have the courage to go after the clients that I really am passionate about working with, and I'm going to trust the rest. Like that's a game changer. So
Yeah, for sure. I've actually, for the estate planning, my plan was to work with Latinos, and I had to learn to like move away from that. Even though that was my passion and my dream,
mhm.
it's like they're not ready. There needs to be like a lot more education when it comes to estate planning. There's a lot of cultural stuff too about like they're afraid of talking about death because they feel like they're gonna, they're calling it. And so even though that was my passion, it's like I was so hard to get them to come to like find the value in what I was offering. So I had to change and be like, all right, I guess that's not my people right now. And while I'm going to keep educating, because I think our community definitely needs it, right? Like I'm not gonna can't depend on that for like my livelihood, because if
Yeah.
not, I wouldn't make it. But
Oh my gosh, I experienced the same journey. Like a lot of people tell me, "Oh, why don't you do more stuff in Spanish? Why don't you?" And I'm just like, because they don't like por ahí no.
uh,
Like but very similar to you. I volunteer my time as often as I can to do free workshops, to go speak, to teach, to mentor, because I don't have to set my passion aside just because it's not quote unquote profitable at the moment. But definitely I think, and I'm still just as passionate of helping the attorneys that I'm helping now. You saw me make the jokes about the margaritas. They laugh at those jokes. We have a blast, right? So it's like they're my people too, but I love that you brought that up, because I do think that there's almost like this guilt thing, not to make this all about mindset, but there's almost like this guilt about, oh, now I'm successful and I feel guilty, so let me scale it back. And yeah, but anyway, we can talk all day about this stuff. Remind us
Yeah.
once again how to get a hold of you, and then I have one more question for you after you share your handles one more time. What is
Yeah,
your
sure.
favorite
So
handle?
follow me, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. The handle is at the Latina Mom. And then my website to schedule an appointment is www.rcalawfirm.com.
Awesome. And remember that if you're watching this and you like a margarita, you can also book a call with me. We'll put our QR code here in a little bit. Would love to talk to you about your marketing, about how our law firm leadership solution can help you. And then Priscilla, I love talking to you, but I have one more question to ask you, which is about your favorite sandwich. You've had a lot of time to think about it since the last 30 seconds. So tell us, what kind of sandwich defines you?
So my favorite sandwich is one that we make at home, and I think it's because it reminds me of when I was little. So it's got cheese, tomato, eggs, a chicken Morningstar chicken patty, and mayonnaise and lettuce, and that is like exactly what I need when I'm feeling down.
Really? So it's egg and
Yeah.
chicken? I've never had that. Where has it been all my life?
Yeah. So like the little chicken patties from Morningstar, yeah, and
Okay.
I'm not getting paid to promote
Yeah.
them, but
Sponsored
they're
by
so good.
Click.
I know for real.
Yeah.
And like a fried egg. Try with a fried egg. Oh my gosh, it will change your life.
I love fried eggs. I really do. And mayonnaise.
Oh my
We've
gosh.
talked about this before on my show, but this has been great, Priscilla. Well,
Thank
you've
you.
enjoyed this episode. Priscilla shared her handles. It'll also be in the description when we post this to our Spotify, iTunes, and I believe we also distribute on Amazon and YouTube. So you can follow her, give her some support, refer her to your friends. Remember, she practices in Tennessee and Georgia, both immigration and also the estate planning piece. So get a hold of her, send her some clients, and Priscilla, keep doing your thing. And for those of you that joined us live, we appreciate you. And those of us that are watching us on our podcast platforms, we appreciate you more. Go ahead and lock us in, bookmark us, and we'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.